from San Diego to Boonton, New Jersey. That's a crazy sentence. You ready to just hop into it?
Yeah, let's go, bro.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Ayoo Chill podcast. Y'all already know the business. I'm here. That's actually good to be back in the studio. I was out traveling in Europe, going to Amsterdam, Dortmund, Germany, was in London. Unfortunately, didn't get a lot of content from Germany or London, but podcast just came out. When will this release? Actually, don't even know when this will release. So maybe I'm talking about this, and this happened like months ago. So, but regardless, you already know. Today I got a very special guest for you. Without further ado, my friend, please take a couple minutes, let the people know who you are and where you're from.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? So my name is David Sledge Jr. I'm the founder, creator, and CEO of the Love Project Collective. And basically, I go around, man, and I just bless people. Just spread love and all that kind of stuff. And you can follow me on Instagram at the Love Project Collective and just see the goodness and the love that I spread into the community and society and everything.
Word, dude, word. Well, much respect. I think, I think it's wild how we met and everything, but it's so crazy. I actually haven't done like a regular podcast in like a minute like this.
Yeah.
And usually I'm just feeling like I want to get more a little bit just straight into like your upbringings. We'll spend like a first 15, 20 minutes talking about that. Okay. And then we'll just hop into everything else. It'll flow naturally.
All right.
So tell me like where life started for you.
Man, that's a great question, bro. I was born in Newport News, Virginia. My dad's in the Navy, so he's been in 33 years.
Sick.
Yeah, bro.
Is he still?
Yeah, he's still in, man.
That's crazy.
Yeah, hey,
That's
shout
crazy.
out to my dad, bro.
Dude,
shout out to Senior, man.
For sure.
And he's about to retire in June.
Oh, dude, congrats, man. Congrats.
Appreciate
for sure.
that, bro. Appreciate that.
What part of the Navy is he in?
So he's in San Diego right now, bro.
Yeah, but like what does he like do as a job?
Honestly, dog, that's a good question.
Word.
I know he's a Chief Warrant Officer 5, so they call him a unicorn.
Word.
And that's like the highest he can go.
Oh, that's
and
sick.
I know growing up he always dealt with weapons and security
Word.
and everything, but I really don't know what he does now.
Word. Yeah, because my friend actually, and your dad will appreciate this. Is he gonna watch this?
Yeah.
But my boy, me and you right now. My boy is in the Navy as well. He's one of my best friends.
Okay.
His name is Tyler Reyes, and I actually stayed in a military base, a Navy base.
Okay.
I stayed in a Navy base in Oxnard.
I like
for
Oxnard.
a week.
Yeah.
And my boy was in the Navy. Well, he's still in the Navy, and he's a CB, which I'm sure your dad knows what that is.
Yep, he does.
But my boy's a CB, and I did a whole podcast about like mental health in the Navy and like how it affects people. And, like, kind of like the behind the scenes stuff that people really don't talk about or know that like, our military like personnel of the U.S. are going through.
Yep.
So like, yeah, dude, but shout out to your dad. Like, thank you for serving and protecting our country, dude, for sure.
Appreciate that, bro. And I know he's going to love that.
Dude, yeah,
Thank
dude,
you.
much respect. You have an amazing son already. We've been talking a little bit before.
Yeah,
so
chopping
dope.
it up and shit, yeah.
So you started life in Virginia. Take me from there.
All right, so I started life in Virginia, and I want to say around the age to 4 or 5, I moved to Chicago. So I was out there for a few years and everything, and then we moved back to Virginia. So about the ages of 7 to 12, I was in Virginia. So did elementary school out there and a little bit of 6th grade. And then from 7th grade on, or 7th grade to 9th grade, I moved to Jacksonville, Florida. So we was out there for a little bit. And then from the end of 9th grade to my senior year, I graduated in Japan.
Wow.
Yeah, bro.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you were in, it's crazy. I do remember you mentioning that you were in Japan.
Yep.
And I was completely wondering. I was like, why is this man in Japan?
Yeah, military, bro. So we went out there, man, and like a lot of my good friends, bro, that's in San Diego, I grew up with them and graduated with them in Japan.
Damn.
Yeah,
That's
so
insane.
everything comes back full circle, bro.
That's really dope. So did you learn like Japanese?
I knew a little bit.
Little
but,
bit?
when you come back to the States, you don't really, especially in North Carolina, you don't really use it or whatever the case is. But now I just point at things, man. Like if I'm in a Japanese restaurant or something like that and they don't speak a good English, I just point at stuff.
Word.
I'm like, this is what I want. Yep.
Do you remember anything off the top of your head?
I'm trying to think, bro.
Even if it's just hello.
I know Baka.
Oh, Baka's idiot.
Yeah, Bucket Stoop. Yeah.
I'm into anime.
Yeah,
I'm into anime. So yeah,
I used to love that word, bro.
Yeah.
Like, cause the Japanese people growing up, like they would, somebody would do something, they would yell at like baka, 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 and everything. So I always thought that was funny. So that's one word that I did keep. And then, konnichiwa and sayonara, meaning bye, and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, bro.
That's dope. Are you into anime at all or not?
I do like anime, man. I think my favorite anime of all time, bro, has to be Yu Yu Hakusho.
Word. I'm not crazy into anime,
Okay.
so I will definitely like put that in my anime list of things.
You got
to
to, bro. You got to, bro.
My co-producer's in here today, but he's crazy about anime.
Okay.
So like,
Okay.
I'll definitely like link you up with him. 'Cause
Yeah.
he's definitely the person to talk.
Okay. Now I'm not well versed in anime, but there's certain things that I rock with.
Yeah.
I think I got like 5 animes that I rock with, and all of them I don't know the names, but when they come on Cartoon Network, what's the late show on Cartoon Network?
Tsunami.
Yeah, when it comes on, bro, I'm like, dang, this is alright, bro.
It's fire.
It's alright. Yeah.
But so, damn. So how was it like in like Japan? Like like did you went to school there? Or?
Yeah. So I went to school on a military base in Yokosuka, Japan, bro. And it was like 45 minutes from Tokyo or from Yokohama, and about an hour train ride from Tokyo.
Word.
Yeah, so like I tell people all the time, bro, that whole experience was just love. Like it was just love, man. Like I played sports, did really well in that and everything, bro. And we were able to travel to different like other bases in different countries. So I was able to go to Guam. I've been to South Korea. What else, bro? And pretty much all of Japan, bro.
Yeah, dude, that's pretty wild because my boy, he was stationed out in Japan for a minute.
Yeah.
And he wasn't on the mainland, I don't think like crazy, but I remember him being stationed out in Guam.
Okay.
Tinian was one of the islands that he was stationed at as well. And Tinian, I'm very into World War II history.
Okay.
Was actually the island that they held the Fat Boy at. The atomic bomb at that they dropped on Japan. That was the island that they kept it at before they did the raid.
Okay, yeah.
So that's pretty dope. And then he's been all over like what you say like I know he was at Guam, and like the weather out there that he would tell me, dude, is like crazy.
It's hot as hell, bro. Hot as hell, bro. Yeah,
that's wild.
It was cool though. A lot of strip clubs. I remember going there in my junior year in high school, man, and for a tournament, and it was a lot of strip clubs. The island's not that big. It's like you can see the whole island from the airport. That's how big it is.
That's wild.
Yeah.
So you go in there or?
Nah, we was in high school, bro.
Oh,
they won't let us in there.
My bad. I was a really weird high school. No, my bad. My uncle was wild.
Nah, man, we didn't get a chance.
Let him in, and I'm like 16. I'm not gonna talk. Well, one day I'll talk about my strip club story.
Yeah, hey, we not gonna throw you under the bus, uncle.
That's mad funny, dude. That's mad funny. But that's wild, dude. That's wild. And that must be kind of awkward too, because at least like at a strip club, like I think here, like like I imagine the girls travel from like a minute away, or at least like not a radius.
Yeah.
Like, if you go there and it's like your neighbor's there, it's like like howdy neighbor.
Oh my goodness, bro. And you know what's funny being here? Like, so me and my auntie was driving and she was showing me like the city, right?
Word.
And I didn't realize y'all have strip clubs in housing complexes. Like, so you have your neighborhood and you have a strip club right there.
I bet. So you talk about like Newark and like that area
Yeah.
like around there. I bet. No, this is cool because I love talking about Jersey, and we'll hop right back into your story. But yeah, dude, there is some like weird go-go bars where it's just like, because you know what happens? It's like you get like a person who like has like a hometown bar, right? And like they have these like little taverns.
Yep.
And I don't think it's specific to Jersey, but it's funny that you talk about it because now I'm like thinking back to like parts of Newark, parts of Patterson.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, there are those buildings, and it's like some of these bars just became like go-go's.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, no, you definitely will find like little strip clubs like here and there, like regular buildings. Yeah.
It's crazy,
funny.
bro, because you got a household of 5 right next door.
Yeah.
That's wild to me. Like, that's,
welcome to Jersey.
that's like a person's paradise, bro. Like your family stressing you out, and you like, I'm about to go next door.
Yeah, I'm about to go next door. It's like, yo, keep acting up, yo. I'm about to say hi to freaking Juanito over there.
Or delicious.
Delicious, bro. Oh my God, cinnamon.
I ISIS. I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you, man. Telling you.
Dude, that's great, dude. So you said Japan was mad chill. So much time were you there? All of high school? Or?
So all of high school, bro, pretty much. So the end of my 9th grade year to when I graduated, and then I was blessed, man. My parents ended up staying until 2016. So I graduated high school in 2012.
Word.
Yeah, so for like Christmas breaks and summer breaks, if I want, at the time because I was playing college football, so for winter breaks I was able to go home and everything.
Word.
Yeah.
So where did you end up going to college?
So I ended up going to North Carolina, bro.
Word.
And I was out there for 3 years. Went to 2 different schools out there, and the first school was Methodist University in Fayetteville, North Carolina, and then the second school was Lenore Ryan University in Hickory, North Carolina.
Word.
And we actually, in 2020, we had a dude get drafted, Kyle Duggar, and I actually was there when he was a redshirt freshman. So it's really cool to see him go to the Patriots and do his thing and all that kind of stuff.
Damn, dude, that's wild.
Yeah.
And the schools you just named like sound like the most college football.
Yeah.
So you played college football.
Yeah, played for a little bit until I tore my shoulder, bro.
Damn.
Yeah. And
So how did that go?
So I had to medically retire, man, and it was a beautiful process. I met a lot of great people, but like I didn't take care of myself. And so you get hurt and you're like, hey, I'm just gonna grind it out and everything. That's probably the dumbest advice anybody could give you. If you're hurt, man, go to your trainers, do all that stuff. Don't try to thug it out and everything. I wish I would have listened, and just because you get one body. And but for me, I don't take anything. I don't regret anything. Like I thought it was a great experience. That was a great experience, bro.
Damn, dude.
Yeah,
dude. I definitely feel that, man, because even like I'm really big on health and doing things the right way. And I think when you get injured in any type of way with your body, going through the process, meeting the right doctors too, because like not every doctor is the right doctor.
It's true, bro.
I mean, for sure. And like I actually tore my ACL. I tore my ACL. I had a tear in my meniscus, and I had I also had a tear in what I think was like my cruciate ligament or something.
Okay.
I don't know. Fact check me. I don't know. But I remember getting that because I was playing soccer.
Okay.
And I wasn't playing soccer for college or anything at this point. Like I was in college, but I was really getting into like rec leagues and stuff.
Yeah.
So I was like on 2 teams.
Okay.
And then I was playing against this Turkish team. This guy had done a really quick like shift, and there was a hole in the ground. And then I had stepped in the hole. It wasn't like a hole, but it was like a divot.
Okay.
But I stepped in it weird, and then my knee, and I heard it,
Man.
and then dude, I was on the floor, and I just thought I was being a dramatic soccer player. Like, but then like when I couldn't stand, I was like, oh shit, like I couldn't stand if you had a gun to my head. Like that's crazy.
Golly,
so
bro.
then I remember like going through that surgery and like like shout out to my PT, bro, because like I tore it in April.
Okay.
And I had to hike Machu Picchu by August. So I was like, damn. So I just worked hard as hell with my PT every day, did all the stretches, did everything I was supposed to. And he was like God willing, bro, like you'll be able to hike this mountain in Peru. And I was like, I bet. So then, we got it done. And I was able. It was actually funny. I feel like the trip itself prepared me more for the trip than the actual PT. But like I was there with my brace and everything, doing my thing, and it was possible.
Can I ask you this, bro?
Yeah.
So when you tore your ACL, man, and you heard that pop, did you cry?
Oh, dude, I was in the fetal position, like absolutely just bawling.
Yeah.
Like I like, and I'm an ugly crier.
Me too, bro.
I'm an ugly crier.
Yeah.
I'm the first one to say I am I am a putrid human being when I cry, bro. It's so bad.
Oh my goodness.
But I accept it. You know what I mean? Me crying is a bad thing.
Hey, bro, and I asked that, man, because like I talk to a lot of men, and a lot of times we try to act, macho. We try to act big and bad and stuff like that. But it's okay in them situations. Like I remember my shoulder popped, bro. I started crying like a little baby, man. And it's okay to cry. And
of course.
Talking to the younger generation and everything, it's okay, bro. Like let it out, man. Like, cause I would have looked at you crazy if you was like, yeah, I popped my ACL and I was just there. I was trying to walk it off and I just thugged it out.
Nah, dude. I think I've been a crier since I was little, man. Dude.
Hey.
Like, for sure. But like I think like now, like when it comes to like emotions and letting them out, like, I'm a little bit more reserved though. Like I don't like to cry in front of people, but like if I don't have to, and sometimes I don't even know. Like sometimes like Like some, but definitely like when it comes, I definitely like let it do its thing.
Okay.
Because sometimes I won't realize that like I'm hiding something.
Yeah.
I don't know if that has ever happened to you.
All the time, bro. Actually, before this trip, it has.
Word?
Yeah, and I had to sit like, cause you feel some type of way, and you, like you said, you try to you just let it out. You like you let it out and try to figure out what's going on. But I had to sit with that. I'm like, man, what's going on? And then I realized like I just kind of been going through depression a little bit, bro. And just with expectations of myself. And I know we talked about it earlier. Being at a certain age and you feel like you got to do this, and your life should be looking like this and everything. And sometimes I get wrapped into that, especially being 29. I'll be 30 next year, and I put a lot of pressure on myself, and I realized that, and I had to sit with that, bro. Yeah.
I feel like that's something that me being at like 25, I feel like it's hard dealing with those feelings because it's like, who's to say you're not where you need to be right now?
That's true.
But it's also like, are you putting in the effort?
That's true.
Is a big question as well.
That's true.
And I think diving deep into like why or why not you are putting in the effort is an even like better thing to like pursue.
I agree.
Because it's like, you could have a dream, but your dream is your dream until you actually start putting things into it. And I think people are so obsessed with the plan and the future that like, if the plan doesn't work out or things change, which things can always change,
That's
right?
true.
Like, it's okay if it does.
Yep.
Like my whole life, like music changed my life in 8th grade.
Okay.
And when I met my band directors, like I saw what they did and I was like, I want to do what they did for me. And I want to change people's life with music. And I thought that was only like possible through being a teacher.
Okay.
Because that's what they had did to me.
Yeah.
And so spent my whole high school career just like working to get like try to get a scholarship so that I could go to be like to music school and be a music teacher.
Yep.
At the end of my first year of college, I realized I was just like, being a music teacher is not going to be for me.
Yeah.
It's not how I want to affect the lives of people with music.
Yep.
So then, like, I switched into sound engineering. And I would have never guessed that in a million years. High school me would have been like, dude, you're a failure.
Yeah.
But then, like, even now, when I went to school for sound engineering, and now I'm podcasting with, like, different people.
That's
and
true,
it's like,
man.
And this is the first time in my life where I'm like, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
But it's hard. I got lucky. I think I got really lucky in the sense of my age right now where I'm just like, cool, like, whatever happens in my life, it involves this in some way. Or it involves music or in some way.
I agree, bro. I agree.
So how do you feel like you've approached it now? Like, going through that, are you still going through it? Do you still feel like you have some questions about yourself and what you're doing? Or like, where do you feel like you're at right now?
So to be transparent with you, bro, to be honest, man, like I sat with those feelings and I realized, because you talked about being real with yourself. And I'm like, man, I'm not putting 110% into what I want to do. So I can't get upset about the results if I'm not really diving deep into it.
Yeah.
And I realized why I'm not diving deep into it is because a part of me is scared of success. Like, it's not even scared of being a failure, bro, because to me, I don't look at things as failing. Like, it's learning, it's growing. But a part of me, man, is, and especially being a spiritual person, a part of me is scared of success and what that would look like, bro. And I had to really sit with that. And not too many people have conversations like that, especially with themselves. And I was like, bro, like, I'm scared to be successful. Like, I know what I'm doing is going to do what it's supposed to do and everything. I see the impact, but I'm scared to be successful a little bit, bro.
So scared to be successful. So what does success look like for you?
Just really having a platform, bro, where I have to be in the limelight. Because even when I've never been that type of person, bro. Like, even when I played football, like, I'll get in the newspaper and all this kind of stuff, but like, I've never wanted to be in that limelight. I always enjoyed being in the background, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this basically comes down to like being more popular in social media and having to deal with that pressure.
Yeah.
You know what? This is a very, very interesting conversation. All right.
Hit me with it, bro. Let's go.
I'm trying to think for our listeners, what might be easy. We need to come back to this.
Okay.
We need to come back to this because if you're listening right now, I want you to understand where this comes from, why don't we just get straight into your business,
Okay.
your how'd you got started in that, and then we'll hop right into this.
Okay.
As soon as we're done with
Okay. Yeah.
So how'd you get started with the Love Project? Is it the Love Project Collective or is it just the Love Project? Tell me how it started.
Hey, I got you, bro. I got you, man. So it's called the Love Project Collective, right? But for short, I just call it the Love Project or TLP and everything like that. And it's one of those stories, man, when you really think about it and you think about like something being started. A lot of times when somebody has a passion project, there's a reason why it was established. And for me, man, I went through something in 2016 where I was almost killed by the police because of what I look like. And, that situation caused me to become bitter, caused me to not really like people anymore and everything. And I realized, like, it took me moving to the Middle East after that situation to really discover myself and really dive into my spirituality or whatever.
Spirituality?
Yeah, yeah, you know what I meant. Yeah, got you. I appreciate that, bro. Thank you. And really just took me to dive into that, bro. And, I've learned to really look at myself in the mirror. And when I went through that incident, like, I didn't really love myself, man. I didn't really like myself. It got so bad, bro, that I couldn't even look myself in the mirror. And, going through that situation and really sitting with my feelings and understanding why I had all this suppressed pain and everything, I was filling voids. And I use football as a void. I use women, alcohol as a void. And for the first time, I had to sit with those feelings. So when I figured out what was going on with me and why I felt the way that I felt, I was like, man, how can I come up with something that is centered around love, that's not corny though, but I can show people and help people find their light. And being in the Middle East, I was like, man, the Love Project. I was like, I can go around spreading love. I can go around talking to people about self-love and love. I can do interviews. I can really have people, it's not about me, it's about them. So really put people in a situation where they can talk. Because I feel like a lot of times what happens is people don't feel like they have a voice. So if you can give people, and that's what's amazing about what you do, you're giving people a voice at the end of the day to tell their life stories or just talk about things that they're going through. And that's amazing, bro. And I just want to tell you to keep going or whatever the case is. But, for me, man, like, I went through all that, and it was different things that was happening during my process because everything's a journey. Everything's a process, right? When it comes to self-love, it's not a destination, it's a process. So when I was going through that, it was different albums I was listening to. One of my favorite albums by Mick Jenkins is called The Healing Component. And a lot of the things that I do now, I took from that album. Unconditional love, noticing people, really pouring into people and everything I took from that album. So really for me, bro, the trauma, the pain, the obstacles that I went through in life, I took that and I created the Love Project.
Lots to unpack here. Number one, congrats for that shift in mindset and getting closer to your spirituality, because I feel very similar in the sense of the start of my journey.
Yeah.
Was definitely like a spiritual growth and like reset of my mind.
Okay.
and my process as well, and what made me being able to do this. So it's very dope to hear that. Let's take it back a little bit.
Okay.
So 2016 is when you ran into this incident with the police. Where were you in life before that point? Because then you said you had graduated college or high school in 2012.
So I graduated high school in 2012.
Okay, so then college would have been around 2016-ish?
Yep. So that incident happened around the time I was supposed to originally graduate. So I graduated in December of 2016. And that situation happened in May of 2016. So really was going through so many different emotions because I was already irritated and pissed off that I wasn't graduating with my class. And I had to take another semester and graduate, a little later and everything like that. And a lot of my friends at the time were graduating, taking their pictures and all that kind of stuff. And I was missing 6 credits that I needed to take and come back for and everything like that. So just really unpacking all that. And then on top of that, being a 22-year-old black man going through a situation where, U.S. Marshals pull up on you and come out of nowhere with handguns and rifles and scream at you, what's your name? And I'm like, David Sledge Jr. And they're like, no, fuck that. What's your real name? And having guns pointed at your chest and everything. And you're like, bro, this may be it. Like, I may not be able to hug my mom no more, man. Like, I may not be able to see my sister and brother no more. And really, that was probably one of the scariest and angriest times of my life, because I'm like, man, like, this, when people look at me, is this what they see? Like, I don't bother anybody. I never bothered anybody. And for me to be in a situation where, you know, people are laughing at me after I got cleared, that really put me in a situation to be, I was super angry, bro. I was just pissed off at the world. And I started to lose my shine, and I started to lose my light. I'm a happy-go-lucky person, I always have. But people didn't want to be around me anymore because everything now that I was saying and talking about, it was just anger.
Do you mind if we dive a little bit deeper into that subject?
Yeah.
Or is, all right, bet. If at any point I ask you anything that you feel uncomfortable with, we don't have to get into it. You just let me know, okay?
Hey, I'm an open book, bro. This could help somebody.
All right, bet. So I'm very interested because this happened in North Carolina?
Florida.
Florida.
Yeah, so my third college was in Florida.
All right, bet. All right, so you're in Florida. Where in Florida?
So I was in University of West Florida in Pensacola, and then at the time, my girlfriend lived in Tallahassee, Florida, which was like 3 hours away driving, but I didn't have a car at the time, so I would take the Greyhound bus. And shout out to the Greyhound, by the way.
Dude, Greyhounds low-key come in clutch.
Yeah, crazy, bro, and it's super cheap, but you always deal with some stuff on the Greyhound. So, like, for me, man, it was never anything serious. It was always, like, you know, you'll get your people on there, like your tweakers, that they get on there and they screaming at the back of the bus and stuff like that. But it was never a situation where I felt uncomfortable or didn't feel safe until that day in May.
Okay, so you were taking a bus to go see your girl.
Yep.
And you hopped on this Greyhound bus, and then at what point did it get to the point where, like, what were the series of events that led up to this altercation?
Got you, bro. So we finally got to Tallahassee, and I finally got my luggage and everything, and I was walking to the end of the platform. And when I got to the end of the platform, bro, you know, I'm a social butterfly. So I was just talking to people, and we was having a good conversation. And I was telling them I used to play college football and everything like that. And they were just really intrigued. And they were nice people that I met on the bus and everything. And as soon as we got to the end of the platform, 15 U.S. Marshals in their SUVs, bro, they just pull up and pop out their cars. And they have their handguns and rifles, like, pointing at me. And I'm like, I didn't do nothing.
And it's just at you?
Yeah, it's just at me. Everybody else left, bro. Mm-hmm. Everybody else that I was talking to ran, which I totally understood, bro. I get it, because, you know, that's a scary situation.
Yeah, dude.
So I realized that the light was on me. So I'm like, I didn't do anything, or whatever the case is. So, you know, the head guy comes up and he's like, hey, what's your real name? And then, like I said, you know, I told him my name, and he was like, no, what's your real name? So the beautiful thing about it, my parents used to always give me a hard time because I never kept a wallet. Mm-hmm. And so I would have my ID and my credit cards in my pocket and stuff like that. And this is probably the first time in my life I was thankful that I didn't have an ID, because what ended up happening was something in my head screamed, hey, let him see your military dependent ID. Everything's going to change once he sees that. And I allowed him to guide his hand into my pocket because he had his handgun pointed at my chest. So his other hand, you know, he took my hand and he went into my pocket. So as soon as he saw my military ID, bro, everything changed. The way he talked to me, the way he looked at me, just the whole interaction. And then they finally cleared me. He was like, oh, we got the wrong guy. And, you know, all of them sat there at the end and they were pointing and laughing at me. And, bro, when I tell you I was just so heated, I was just so upset, because I'm like, man, you could have just killed somebody. And then on top of that, they were describing who they were looking for. I didn't fit the description, other than I'm black.
This is like pretty much, this is one of those situations where it's like, I don't think there's anything you could have done to like avoid that, you know?
It's tough, man.
And it's so freaking unfortunate. And also, what it sounds like is like the people there too, the officers, whatever the hell they were, just had such a lack of sympathy too. That's tough, man. I'm so sorry that you had to go through that, man.
Yeah.
That's not only like, it's not only like, it's one thing to be frightened out of your mind that you might die, you know what I mean? And I often forget that a lot of people aren't good under pressure.
That's true.
You know, like a lot of people would freak out or have a panic attack. You know,
That's
like
true, bro.
when I was little, I used to have panic attack over dumb shit. You know, I could only imagine 15 people like pointing a gun at me with a light on me and shit. You know, and then not only that, but to also feel like humiliated after with people laughing. Like that's so fucked up, dude. I'm so sorry,
bro.
I'm so sorry you went through that.
Hey, man, I appreciate it, bro. And like for me, what I learned in that situation, dog, like 2016, I always tell people was the worst year of my life. Like also that same young lady that I went to go see, we ended up breaking up, and we were together for 4 years. And I realized, it took me a while to realize this, I wasn't good for her at all, man. Like I was an asshole, and you know, I needed to grow up and everything like that. And you know, I was going through all these different things, and that situation was just the top of the iceberg, bro. But I needed that, because without that incident, I wouldn't have what I'm doing now. Like I'm really going out here and pouring into people, bro. People that you don't know what they're going through. And my DMs are always flooded with people saying, hey, I heard one of your podcasts and it's literally saved my life. And I'm like, man, like, and I think that's why I said, and I know we're going to go back into this, but I think this is why I said I'm scared of success, bro. Because now I'm going to be the face of something. I'm already the face of something, but now if it goes the way I know it can, I'm going to really be the face of something. And I'm going to have to hear people's comments, because everybody's not going to be positive. Everything's not going to be positive. So now I got to look at people's comments and saying this, or this, or now I'm really got to like figure out boundaries, because I can't help everybody. And sometimes I'm not in the space to help everybody, right? Because we all got our own personal stuff going on. So really, bro, sometimes, yeah, I'm scared of success, man.
So why don't we just hop into it?
Yeah, let's hop into that, bro.
And we'll hop back into the story in a bit. I feel what you're saying deep, man.
Yeah,
for sure. I feel like on my side of things recently, I remember having a conversation with one of my studio partners here a couple months ago, and even like I was telling you before, it's really hard to talk about the podcast sometimes and the guest I want to have on sometimes without sounding like an arrogant asshole.
Yeah.
And it's never about being arrogant. Sometimes it's about business stuff. And sometimes you just have to be selfish for your own well-being.
That's true,
you
bro.
know? You can only give as much as you give to yourself.
That's true.
You know? And I think that when I started this podcast, it always had in mind like serving the little people, giving a voice to the little people so they can start growing, and like, you know, I could be a stepping stone for their shoulders. As the podcast grew, and like I said, I'm not even at a point, like, you know, like what I was telling you before, I was like, I ain't shit yet. I mean, like I'm something, but like, you know, like I wouldn't consider myself like, you know, to a point where I'm like doing something on a massive scale yet, you know. But
You climbing though.
yeah, it's cool. But you know, as on this stage of the journey right now and during the podcast, it's wild because I'm at the point now where like I can't accept everybody onto the podcast.
That's true.
You know, there's only so many weeks in the year.
Yep.
And there's only so much time I can invest into editing, promoting, and releasing something. And I had to face kind of like my biggest fear of being like, I can't prioritize the little people anymore.
Damn, bro, that's deep.
Because it's not financially viable.
Yeah.
It's not viable to social media. And like I personally cannot invest the time because, you know, unless I give them something smaller, which I feel is also, I don't know if belittle is the right word.
Okay.
But it's like, oh, you're a smaller person. I'm not going to give you my full podcast and my full, like, you know, energy.
Yeah.
I'll give you something smaller just because, you know, I want to give something to you.
Yep.
It's not always like that. You know
That's
what
true.
I mean?
That's
Although,
true.
you know, the argument could be like people would appreciate that, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard. And getting into that topic of like, I'm scared for my business to take off, especially being in the social media world, because now all eyes are on you at all times.
Yep.
And it's like, how do you deal with that? You know?
Damn.
And I think, I don't know. I know I'm hogging up the mic here, but like even recently, I was telling you, shout out Kurt Donovan and everybody at the Meat Locker. Shout out to Turkish Royale and everybody at Mad Minds. You know, I've been working these hip hop shows.
Okay.
And those are the two shows I've been working, Mad Minds, and I didn't work for Underground Developmental, but I had gone to another hip hop underground, like, you know, artist shows.
Okay.
And a lot of local artists go there, and it's great because I've been really tapping into the community recently, but it's so awkward for me because, like, you know, a lot of people will come up to me now and they'll be like, oh, hey, you're Ayoo Chill. I'm like, oh, that's really nice. Like,
Yeah.
that's so sweet. That's so sweet. And then they ask for stuff and I don't know how to say, like, I can't help you. And that feels so hard. You know, it's like I could give you my time now.
Yep.
But sometimes people don't appreciate that.
Yeah.
Like, in the moment.
That's
you know?
true. That's
So
true.
what's like your number one fear then if things blow up?
Honestly, bro, you hit on something, dog. Like, it's for me, I've always been about the underdogs and the little people because I've always been an underdog in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people always told me what I couldn't do, and I was able to achieve that. So, like I said, I grew up in Japan, and a lot of people at the time was like, "You'll never be able to play college football from here. Coaches don't come out here. You're too little," and I was able to do that. You know, I wrote a children's book, right, about my grandmother. A lot of people were like, "Oh, people aren't gonna take you serious because you're a goofy person." Right? Like, nobody's gonna see you in that light. And I wrote a children's book, bro. So, like, for me, I think what it comes down to is feeling like I won't be accessible to the little people because at the end of the day, I feel like they need me, but I'm not gonna be able to help everybody, bro. Like, right now, where I'm at with my followers, I can send everybody a personal DM. But you start going to 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 people, 40,000 people, you ain't gonna be able to send everybody a personal DM. You know, you're not gonna be able to shake everybody's hand and be able to pour into everybody. You know, people hitting you up and saying, "Hey, Dave, like, you just saved my life." They may not get a response back, or they may get an automatic response, right? And you know, I think that's a scary part for me, bro, because I always want to be accessible because you never know who needs it, and we need that human connection. And I feel like, bro, like if I get to a point and I become really successful, because I'm doing good right now, if I really take that time to really pour into my craft and what I'm doing, I feel like I'm gonna get to a point where I'm not gonna be accessible to the people that need me, bro. The people that have stories like me, the people that look like me, right? You know, I feel like that's super important to me as well. The people that, you know, and when I say look like me, I don't mean race or anything like that, but the people that are David, they have the same story as me, right? So I just really feel like, yeah, that's the scary part, bro. Like, not being accessible, man. So you hit on the head, bro. You hit on the head.
Yeah,
Thank
dude.
you for that, dog. Thank you.
Dude, of course. I mean, like, I it's so weird that you talk about like the DM thing. Like the DM thing is also like something where it's like getting to the point now where I don't even think I get an insane amount of DMs, you know. But for me, like I think we touched on it a little bit before how like love-hate relationship with social media.
Yeah.
Love-hate relationship with social media. And it's sometimes like it just doesn't feel real and genuine on social media all the time.
That's true.
And it's funny. I love meeting people in person, and I think that's the best time to talk to me. It's just in person. Because I get people who DM me, and it's like, and this is for anybody who's listening right now who like wants to come on a podcast. The best way is to ask me in person, but I wouldn't make it the first thing you ask me because then I'm just gonna be weirded out by you.
Hey, because you got to build that relationship.
Yeah,
we talked about that earlier.
Yeah, you gotta build a little bit of a rapport, and it's not a rapport of just like, you know, like, oh, like, you know, like you have to be this great musician or whatever. It's like, no, dude, like you just have to be a friend or friendly.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
You can't be like, "Hey, bro, let me get on the podcast."
Yeah, dude.
That's the first thing you say to me.
Yeah, it's like, you know, you wouldn't go up to you wouldn't knock on a stranger's house and be like, "Hey, like, let me get some food." Like, it's like I don't know, like, what
I wouldn't recommend that.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it, especially in the hood, especially in Newark. You might get a response to something else. That's just facts. But yeah, dude, like, you know, but so how do you now feel like? How are you attempting to face those fears or make yourself feel better about it? Or hasn't been something you've thought about? Like,
honestly, bro, coming out here, man, like this whole weekend, I've been having time to like think to myself. And that was something like you have to face. Like you can't run from that, right? Because it's going to happen. You know, like you said, you put in the work and you keep grinding, the only good can happen from the situation, right? Only growth can happen. So you get in a situation, bro, where it's like, what can you do? I mean, at the end of the day, I can only do so much. So if it gets to a point where I can't respond to everybody's DM, just allowing people to understand, like, hey, I'm human. I'm one person. I'm one person in this operation, and I may not be able to respond to everything, and that's okay. Like, and for me not to feel bad for that.
Yeah.
Like, at all, bro, because we all want to grow. We all want to elevate. Nobody wants to stay the same. And real people that's supporting you don't want you to be in the same position that you was in last year. I would hope not. So,
I think the best way to go about it too is, it's kind of something I've been practicing more recently, where it's like I really have just not been ignoring what social media is, but also just being as genuine, like remembering my roots when I treat somebody and not letting like whatever past thing like happens. Like, for example, that was a very bad way of explaining it, but I'll explain it now. I'm a terrible texter.
okay.
I'm an awful texter.
Me too.
And my text is somewhere where I get way too many texts in a day. Like, I'm gonna get 20 texts in a day from like 20 different people, and I'm like, fuck, And if I don't respond back to a text, I'll usually be surprised with myself. But then it's never not like any fake love, or it's also I don't get too nervous. Like, actually, a perfect example. I was out with one of my friends, and we were having a drink at this bar.
Okay.
And I had hit up another friend. So I was with friend 1, friend 2. I haven't seen friend 2 in like 3 months.
Okay.
And so I hit up friend 2. That's like maybe the day before. I was like, hey, we should meet up. Like, we haven't seen each other in so long. Like, let's meet up. And then he had texted me back, and he's like, yeah, dude, like, let me know when you're free. I'm free this weekend. And I was at this bar with friend 1. I run into friend 2.
Okay.
And I was so happy to see friend 2.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, how are you? Blah, 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 this and this and that.
Makes sense.
And then friend 2, love him to death. Love him to death. You know who you are. You know who you are. He straight up was like, dude, you're fake. I'm like, what's up? And he's like, you never texted back. And I was like, there's no way. I looked into my phone. I didn't text back. So I was like, I'm like, yeah, it happens. But like, I don't let that get me down.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day too, it's like, yo, straight up, I got busy or whatever I got into, like, it's whatever, but I want to let you know that I care about you and I still want to work on this or like, see you. So like, I'm sorry. And if that ends up being the tipping point of like our friendship and us like leaving being friends like that, like then I think there's bigger problems than just like,
I agree, bro.
That.
I agree.
And that's why I kind of see with every social media interaction, every DM that I don't get to for a couple months or whatever, or if somebody says something crazy to me, I'm just like, dude, I was like, regardless, like whenever we meet each other in person, that's going to be the most important thing.
Yeah, it's all love.
Yeah, because it's all love.
Yeah.
It's all love. And if we don't meet in person or if we don't cross or like also like you don't like seriously reach out to me, because this is also something I think about too. I get a lot of people who DM me or something, but they've never left a comment on a post.
Man.
Like,
talk that talk, bro.
Right?
Talk
like,
that talk,
and,
bro.
And it's not like a salty thing that I have against it. But I'm like, dude, if you're not getting my attention towards the DMs, it's because everybody's there.
That's true.
It's a packed room. And I don't mean to sound like big on myself, but it's also a packed room because if I'm a terrible texter and I'm telling you I'm a terrible texter, how you think my DMs are?
That's true.
Right?
That's true.
Like there's DMs that like even when my DMs just had like 4 or 3 DMs, it would take me a week to respond to them. I'm just like, I'm not good at this.
Yeah.
It's one of the things I suck at. But one of the things I am good at is responding to comments.
Comments, bro. Yeah.
And it's crazy because I got 2 comments here, 3 comments here. And it's so funny because some people noticed it.
Okay.
And they have been like, hey, I sent you an email.
Yeah.
Please check your email. In my comments. I see that in my comments. The first thing I do,
You check your email.
run to my email.
Yep.
They're like, hey, I DM'd you. Can you please like check a DM? Or like, hey, I love this dude. And then they'll come in there. And I notice a comment and they're like, hey, I sent you a DM. Please let me know when you get the chance. I'm like, dude, that is sick.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, of course I'm going to prioritize you because you're showing love. You're liking my stuff. I recognize the name. So then I'm going to be like, oh, let me check like what they had to say, That's really what it is. And I, like I said, I try not to feel bad about it.
Yeah.
Because there are people who are going to feel salty.
Oh, yeah, I
But
agree.
I feel like those people too, have a skewed vision of like what social media is, and like what like they read so deep into something.
Yeah.
I'm just like, dude, social media is really not that deep.
It's a highlight reel.
Yeah, it's a highlight reel. And sometimes you just have to look deeper into what a person is. That's why I love podcasts. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, you could call me a shitty person on Instagram, like YouTube. Not really YouTube. My point being is that you could call me a piece of shit person on like just at face value if you look at my Instagram or whatever. I'm not saying I am or I post some content like that, but the best way you could know me is by listening to the podcast. And then from there, it's like, you know, that's why I keep it raw.
Yeah.
I don't delete anything from the podcast except once or twice. I did delete someone going to the bathroom because I was like, but you know, more recently, I even got mad at myself for doing that. So I was doing this podcast with my friend. He went to the bathroom and I just talked to the audience myself. I was like, I guess we're waiting because I don't want to cut this out.
Hey, bro, that's actually smart, bro.
You know, so I'm just like, and trust me, it gets awkward sometimes.
Yeah.
It got awkward because I just ran out of stuff to say. And I was just like, what are you going to say here in silence?
Hey, bro, but you talking from the heart, though, and people like that.
Just talk from the heart and just be real. But yeah, that was a dope convo. That was dope.
Hey,
do you have anything left to say on that? Because I do have some more questions about your journey.
Okay.
We'll pop off from there.
Honestly, bro, I think the biggest thing, man, when I was listening to you talk, I think the biggest thing is about intentions. And if you know that you have good intentions and you're a good person, it really doesn't matter what everybody else say. Because like you said, like sometimes people have a skewed version of you in their head. And, you know, if I'm like, hey, I didn't see your DM, I'm sorry. You know, at the end of the day, doesn't mean I'm a bad person. Just means, you know, life happens and that's okay and everything. So, you know, I'm learning to not take it serious or not take it to heart, right?
Yeah, take it personal.
Yeah, because you never know what people are going through. And sometimes people project.
Oof, yes.
And that projection, you know, a lot of times has nothing to do with you. It's just what they're feeling in the moment. And you're just that person that's right there and all that kind of stuff. So I'm just learning. And this weekend, man, with this self-discovery, I'm just learning not to take none of that personal, but everything's about intentions. So I know I put out love. I put out positive energy. I put out respect and everything. And sometimes I'm not able to get back to everybody. And that's okay. Why? Because I'm human.
Word. Yeah, dude. I definitely feel that. I think that's a good point too of like when people... I think as you get bigger and you start grabbing more attention online, I think it's less of the problem of like the one person or the two people or the 10 people who are telling you this that make you have almost like an identity crisis.
That's true.
But it's like the hundreds and hundreds or,
bro.
You know, getting to that point where thousands of people are like, you know. And it's wild because at this point right now, I'm talking a little out my ass right now because I feel like if I were to go viral today and I had like 500,000 people saying like, hey, you're a piece of shit, I'd be like, nah. Like, it would hurt a little bit. It would hurt a little bit, but I feel like I'd be cool. For me, what hurts most is when people close to me say that. And that's something that, like, you know, it would really put you... I've gone through a couple of bad friends, people who were really close to me and then like left or I had to get rid of.
Okay.
And, you know, during that process of getting rid of them, it was the craziest thing because, you know, like getting rid of a friend or a best friend, these are the people you trust with all your heart, your soul, and everything. And then if those people are looking at you and being like, hey, you're a piece of shit, it's like...
That shit hurts.
It's like, it hurts. And it's also like, you really have to look at yourself and be like, am I a piece of shit?
Yeah, is it me?
Is it me?
Yeah.
And then, you know, it takes a while to finally be like, no, like, you have to have as good of a head on your shoulders and be confident in yourself and what you're doing and really be able to, it's not like super analyze yourself, but like really take a look in the mirror and be like, am I? And like, you have to have that same amount of strength as if you had a toxic ex-best friend or best friend who was doing that to you, than to all the social media people. Because at the end of the day too, bro, like I said, the most important thing is like the people who come up and react and talk to me in person.
That's true.
You know, like if somebody was like, yo, you're a piece of shit, I'd be like, yo, why don't you hop on this mic and tell me why?
Yeah.
And I feel like 99% of the people wouldn't.
That's true, bro.
Because then they hop on this mic and then after an hour and a half, I can't imagine you still calling me a piece of shit after an hour and a half of talking to each other.
That's true.
Because I just want to show you love.
Yeah.
Whatever's hurting you, bro, like let's help you out.
Yep,
you know?
let's talk about it.
Yeah. And like I think that's the biggest thing. But social media could definitely get to that point of just messing with your brain, being mad depressing. But that's why, yeah, I think that's why like now more than ever, it's hard sometimes to just click that share button.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially if you feel like something you're posting is like a little bit goofy or a little bit out there. And you know what? It might be. But
That's true.
at
You
the
get
end of the
nervous,
day,
bro, because you're
yeah.
like, if this goes viral, bro, somebody's gonna get in my ass.
Yeah.
Am I ready for this? That's what I be thinking, bro. Like
Yeah,
somebody's gonna get in my ass because it happens.
Yo, I'm not gonna hold you. You phrasing it that way, it's got out of pocket. Bro, I was like, you said it the first time, I'm gonna let it go. You said it the second time. I was like, yo, they gonna get in there, bro.
Hey, it's funny as hell because I thought about it. I said, should I say pause?
You did it though. I was like, all right, bro, I gotta call him out. I gotta call him out, bro. I was like, damn, they get it.
I was hoping we was gonna go past it, bro.
Nah, I couldn't, because I know if I heard that when I re-listened to this podcast, I would have been mad at myself, and be like, yo, you can't let him slide. You can't let him slide like that. Oh man, that's hilarious, dude. All right. There's something you said because I really want to start understanding a little bit more of your timeline. So 2016, you graduated December. The altercation with the police happened, what, you said March of that
May
year?
May of 2016.
May of 2016. 2016, everything changes. You graduate at the end of 2016. How did you end up moving to the Middle East?
Okay. So I was finishing school, man, and you go through that point where you're trying to figure out what's next. And I was trying to figure out, is it grad school for me? Do I want to do more school right now? Do I have the capacity to do that? Or do I just stay? Because my parents at the time, they moved to the Middle East. And really, they gave me that lifeline, bro. My dad was like, hey, you don't really know what you're doing right now. Come out here and get a job.
And where in the
Bahrain.
Bahrain?
Yeah, which is like it's a small little island, right? And it's close to Saudi Arabia and everything. So really dope place. I had a great time, man. Met a lot of, like, I call them earth angels. I feel like God put certain people in your life for a reason. And for me, there was people that I met during that time that showed me my light again. And it was just like a beautiful experience. And I was there for almost 2 years. But, the reason why I came out there, and I really didn't want to go, at first I was visiting because I finished school and, it's Christmas break. So went out there, and then my dad was like, basically, you're staying. He's like, because you're going to go back to the States and do what? And he kept pushing my ticket out. So eventually, bro, a month went by, and he was like, I hope you know you're staying here. So I ended up staying, bro, ended up getting a job with the Navy and everything, which was really cool, did youth sports.
Okay, bet. So,
Yeah.
so you left college with your degree in like sports.
Yep, sports management, bro.
Sports management.
Yeah.
And then you got a job with the Navy doing what?
Youth sports. So basically, bro, what I was doing, I was a coach, and I was putting on all these different programs and activities for military kids. Yeah.
That's so sweet.
Yeah, it was dope, bro. Super dope, man. Good experience and everything. And I met so many wonderful people in that. So really, everything was aligning. I had my degree in sports, and I was still able to be around something that I love, even though I couldn't play anymore.
And how are you doing mentally during this time? Was this part of the spiritual awakening or?
So during this time, bro, I'm not going to lie, I was drinking heavily.
Okay.
I ended up gaining about 50 pounds.
Okay.
I went to the Middle East, I was like 250. And during this time, bro, I ended up getting to like 315.
Okay.
And a lot of it was just alcohol. Like I was drinking every single day and everything. And I was really fucking up, making piss poor decisions and everything like that. And it got so bad, bro. One night I fell into a ditch in a black flag area, right? So, out there.
What does that mean, black flag area?
So basically, bro, like it's an area where terrorists are.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's wild. That's wild,
Yeah.
dude.
And they usually they're there late at night. So at a certain point, being American or being military, you're not supposed to be in these areas. So that area, we weren't supposed to be around there after, I think, 8 or 9 p.m.
And when you say we, like who are you with?
It was just me.
Wild, bro. Okay,
Yeah,
continue,
so
continue.
I ended up going to the club that night, bro. And I know we hopping around and everything,
Mm-hmm.
but I ended up going to the club that night and ended up, I don't know what happened, man. I ended up taking a drink from this lady. And it was a shot of Hennessy. I love Hennessy, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
And
Shout out, honey. Sponsor us.
hey, that would be nice. But now I ended up taking a shot from her, bro, and everything kind of went woozy at that point, right? And I ended up finding myself in the ditch. And it was this guy, he was a taxi cab driver.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, you American. And he picked me up and put me into the back of the taxi. And he kept asking me, I remember because I was going in and out, blacking out. And he was like, where do you live? I got to take you home. Where do you live? So I couldn't answer him. So he took me to the military base.
Damn. What an angel, dude.
Yeah,
What an
bro.
angel,
He saved my
for
life,
real.
man. He saved my life, bro, because anything could have happened. Like I was in a black flag area, bro. Like, and they were burning stuff out there, tires,
Mm-hmm.
all that kind of stuff. And anything could have happened. And he took me, his instinct was to take me to the American base.
Damn. So what happened then? Like when they took you, like
So it's funny, man. Like I was supposed to get in trouble because realistically, like in Bahrain, everybody has a curfew.
mm-hmm.
And as an American, your curfew's I think 1 or 2. So I was way past curfew, bro. It was like almost 5 in the morning.
Damn.
And my dad, being who he is, being a stand-up guy in the military, everybody knows him. So as soon as they saw my ID, because bro, I couldn't even form a sentence.
Mm-hmm.
I was done.
And do you think like she drugged you or
Honestly, bro, I feel like because I only had 4 shots that night,
damn?
and I literally just I went through 2 bottles of Hennessy last night, and felt amazing.
Yeah, and we hefty, so like
Yeah,
I know you can take 4 shots.
Yeah,
I can take 4 shots.
So I think so, man. And during that time, bro, like I said, I was making bad decisions because in college, I never took drinks from people that I didn't know. But then I get over here, and it wasn't my first time overseas. I never did that. And I get over here, and I'm in a terrible place mentally. I'm just like, oh, why not? I'm just trying to drink this pain away. So I look back at it. I think she did drug me. And that was a huge thing over there. Like they was doing that to a lot of military cats. And I just got to the point where I was like, I need to go home. But I didn't go home, and I'm going to the black flag area and everything. But during that time, bro, I showed my military ID because they kept asking me, what's your name? What's your name? I do remember that. And it was like, oh man, this is Chief Warrant Officer Sledge's son. It's like, we got to get that dude home. We got to get him home. So they end up, one of his sailors end up coming to pick me up, and he kept asking me, where do you live? I said, Jafir. He was like, we're in Jafir. Mm-hmm. And every time, bro, he sees me, Nick, shout out to Nick, he always says that, Jafir. He always calls me that, bro, and everything like that. But they took care of me, and, it's just a blessing, man. Like, my dad being who he is definitely saved my life a few times. And just, making piss poor decisions, bro, terrible decisions and everything. But after that situation, I ended up having to figure out, man, like, I got to do something. Like, this ain't cool. Like, I could have died, bro. I put myself in jeopardy, man.
What was your dad's reaction to like this?
Honestly, he was mad at me, but I think my dad knew that I was experiencing so much pain and so much confusion that he gave me so much grace. Like, he didn't yell at me or anything like that. He's just like, come on, man, like, what's up? Like, talk to me, or you need to talk to somebody. And I tried the therapy thing, and that was okay, but I did a lot of the stuff on my own, like reading books, praying more, drinking more water, getting back in the gym and everything like that, and really analyzing my feelings and why I'm feeling like this. Oh, yeah, I went through a situation in May, a traumatic situation. Okay, so I got to pick that apart and figure out, what else am I suppressing?
That's a lot, dude. That's a lot. So you were saying, so after this incident, right? So you realized that you needed to like start getting together. You start reading more books. Was it that incident that was the catalyst for becoming more spiritual and in tune with yourself?
It was that one, bro, and it was another incident. And I'm not promoting this, but I feel like I need to talk about this. But I ended up so in Bahrain, they do a lot of all you can drink stuff. So like brunch is a huge thing, and it's all you can drink, everything, all you can eat, and everything like that. So America really don't have good brunches to me and stuff like that. $75 all you can drink. That's whiskey, that's tequila, that's beer, all that stuff, right? So they had this pool party, It was all you can drink. So you can get like 5 shots at like one time. They stopped doing that because, you know, as Americans, man, especially close to a military base, people was wilding.
Jesus.
Yeah, people was wilding, bro. So they ended up having a drink limit. Like, you still all you can drink, but you only get one drink at a time. So I had went, and I think I had probably about 20-something shots, bro. And I still, at the time I was working, I wasn't working on base yet.
20-something shots, dude?
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
You're wild.
I know, man.
You're wild.
Definitely not proud of it, bro.
Oh my God. All right, sorry. That was crazy.
Yeah. And then this was like when I first got there. This is kind of the same time as at the first incident. And I ended up driving home, bro. And like I said, man, I'm not promoting this, and I feel terrible and super dumb, super irresponsible, and I acknowledge that, right? And I was blacking out the whole ride home, but I knew I only lived 5 minutes down the street. So what ended up happening, man, like, and shout out to Pops, man, he always looking out for me. I ended up getting to the carport, but there was a pole in the middle of the port, right? So I end up slamming the side of the car, the side of the door on that pole. And my dad, I walked upstairs and he's like, how'd you get home? I said, I don't know. Like, I couldn't talk, right? So something in his spirit was like, David, go check that car. So the one side was cool. Bro, he went to the other side. The whole side of the door was tore up. And, you know, he tried to talk to me and everything. And he ended up, like I said, I should have got in trouble, bro, because one, it was a rental car. Like, when you go over there, most people, you know, they get rental cars and stuff like that. So he had to originally report it to the police and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know what the process was for that, but he ended up getting taken care of, or the rental car people did. And all he had to pay was $900. And it's crazy, bro. But that was one of those situations where I was like, man, like, Dave, you're getting a second chance to come over here and change your life, but you're fucking up. And my dad had a conversation with me, and I could see the pain in his eyes, because he was like, bro, like, you do realize I had to pay $900 to fix the car. He said, man, like, I don't know what's going on, but you got to figure out, Dave. So that situation, I would say, was the catalyst for me being like, you know what? I can't drink like I'm drinking. I can't, you know, I can't run from these feelings. I got to figure out what's going on and why, because I'm sabotaging myself, because I got all this pain, I got all this hurt in me, man. And the people that did this, bro, they living their life. They probably forgot about it. They probably, you know, they with their families, all that kind of stuff. But I'm hurting. And the only person I'm hurting is myself.
That's deep, man. That's really deep, dude. I'm so sorry that happened to you, man, because it's very tough. I definitely take a little bit of like any trouble with alcohol, like, super personal, dude, because it's like I've never had any real problems with alcohol, but like I've seen my friends go through it, and yeah, dude, it's super real. Like, to try and get help to get out of that is it's so difficult, man, and it's like so scary, because like at any one of those moments, your life could have changed forever.
Yeah, bro.
You know,
and somebody else's life could have been affected too.
So after that situation, like, what was then your first step to then start to get into like a better place?
Connecting with God. I started walking more at night, and I still do this as a routine. I like to be under the stars, right? And really, like, that's my time to reflect and really talk to God and connect. And I was asking and pouring my heart out, and for me, that was that first step where I was like, I'm starting to feel a relief. And I'm sitting here asking, like, show me the way. What do you want me to do? What am I supposed to do? What's my purpose? And all that kind of stuff. And when I asked those questions, I would sit down and really allow him to speak to me. And or her, you know, I don't discriminate or anything like that, but just really allow my source to speak to me. And you know, at first was like, hey, you got to stop drinking as much. You know, you're holding in all this pain. You got to forgive yourself. You got to know, like, it's only part of your story, but it doesn't define you, right? So that really, and then also you have to start accepting help from the people that I put into your life. And I was meeting people when I was over there, bro. Like, I was meeting so many great people, and I wasn't accepting help. I wasn't trying to hear anything they had to say. And two people, shout out to Uncle Chris and Uncle B, those are my earth angels, man. Rest in peace, Uncle Chris. Uncle Chris saw something in me, bro. I couldn't even see in myself at the time. Like my man was like, "You have a gift, bro." And he was like, "You're scared to show the world your gift." And he said, "Man, you're an artist." And he said, "You gotta put yourself out there, but you also gotta forgive yourself. You holding all this pain in your heart, man, and it's not hurting nobody but you." And really just made me look at myself and know, like, at the end of the day, like I said, I was fucking up, but I'm not my fuck ups. I'm just human. I'm making mistakes. And he really showed me so much love, bro, and always like poured into me. And when he died, bro, that really hurt my soul. But that's why I was like, hey, I gotta keep going. I gotta get the Love Project going. I gotta write these books. I gotta do all this stuff because it ain't for me. It's for him because he saw something in me that I couldn't even see at myself at the time. I couldn't even look at myself in the mirror. And dude was picking up my chin and reminding me that I had a crown.
It's really beautiful, dude. I'm
Appreciate
so sorry
that,
for
bro.
your loss, man. For
Appreciate
sure,
that, dog.
there's always something like when you lose somebody and they leave you with like the messages of like be you and like you are so much greater than whatever you're seeing right now.
That's true.
And it's so beautiful because I feel like there's a lot of people in life where it's like they could see more of like who you truly are than yourself at times, especially
Yeah.
when you need to hear from yourself the most.
Yep.
So with the Love Project, where after the second situation did it really start to get started? Like, what was your first step and like, into like really making this a thing?
So the thought was always there. And I was like, man, I gotta get back to the States, bro. I said, I gotta get back to the States and I gotta figure out like how to get this going. But a lot of it was just planning, just figuring out, okay, if I'm gonna talk about self-love, what does that look like? What does my journey look like and everything? So just planning. But then I moved to California. So I was in Barstow for a minute because I worked for the Army. Right. And, if nobody's familiar with Barstow, it's in between LA and Vegas. Mm-hmm. It's in a desert town and everything like that. So, I was out there, bro, and I was like, man, I'm bored out here. So I was like, I might as well come up with the Love Project. It's been on my heart. God has blessed me with this vision. And, I didn't know what it was going to look like. But my friends, man, shout out to everybody I went to high school with in Japan. They was in San Diego. So I ended up getting a design made for my homeboy, Stephen Horton. He works for Nike and everything. And I don't know if y'all seen the Washington Wizards Cherry Blossom uniforms. He was responsible for that.
That's dope.
Yeah, so my man's a genius, bro. Genius, man. Shout out to Steve, bro. And he did my logo. And I was like, man, I want something cool. I want something hip and all that kind of stuff. And he came up with this and everything. And, I put it on some T-shirts and I told my friends, I was like, hey, man, I need a photo shoot. So we did a photo shoot and all that kind of stuff. And some people were getting frustrated with me because they was like, what's your vision? I was like, I don't know. I just want to spread love and everything. So then, I came up with the interviews. I was like, this is the best way to have other people talk about their stories. You ask them questions and allow them to use their voice. But also in that, it's called the Love Project. So I go around blessing people. Like I'll pay for somebody's haircut. 2 of my videos on my Instagram is me going into a boutique. Shout out to Daydream. And I find 2 people and I pay you. I give you 10 seconds. Whatever you want, if you could put it on the counter, and after these 10 seconds or before these 10 seconds, I'll pay for it. It's just me blessing people, man, because at the end of the day, somebody was a blessing for me, and I'm just paying it forward, bro. But I'm also allowing people to have a voice because at one point, I didn't feel like I had a voice, bro. I'm screaming at the top of my lungs, but I felt like nobody heard me. So now I could be a blessing to somebody else. I hear your screams. I hear what you're going through. And I want to allow you to use your voice to tell us what's going on.
Is there any so with that in mind, when it comes to now making content or what is like I know your goal is to spread love and pay it forward, but how do you plan on like trying to move into like YouTube videos? Are you trying to just keep it on Instagram or like, or are you still figuring it out? Like, where are you at with that?
Honestly, bro, like my vision is to eventually get to YouTube because I want to do like documentary series about like different types of love. So, you fatherly love, motherly love, all that kind of stuff, right? And where people can use their voice. And also, I'm on TikTok, but I got to do more with TikTok. TikTok's a hard one and everything. but I want to branch out and do more. And it hit me on the head today when you talked about, you want to travel. Like you want to pack your car up and you want to do interviews. Like you just want to talk to people. And I was like, bro, that's been on my heart the last year and I haven't done it. But then you motivated me to be like, you know what? Just pack the truck up, Dave, and just go.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like, obviously I didn't drive my truck out here because that's a long trip. But that's kind of like what I did with coming out here. I just came out here on a whim, bro. I met some people and all that kind of stuff. But like, I hit your line and I was like, hey, I'm going to be here and everything. And I'm getting out of my comfort zone. I'm talking to people. I'm making content. I'm doing all this stuff. So to me, that's that first step.
Yeah, it definitely is, dude. It definitely is. And, even now sometimes I still get scared of putting myself out there and just doing stuff that are random, I'm glad a lot of people saw my time in Amsterdam and were really inspired. And actually, it seems like my trip in Amsterdam had a lot more effect on more people than I thought, because some people who I haven't connected with in a minute who I've seen, they're like, oh, I saw you went to Europe. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's really cool. But even when I was there, like, I was so lost. It wasn't like, we call it what it is. Social media is the highlight reel.
Yeah,
it's a highlight reel.
Yep.
But what nobody saw when I was in Amsterdam was all the times I made the wrong turn.
Yep.
And I spent 3 hours just like bullshitting because I didn't know where I was, or really not. I was on a whole workout schedule before I went to Amsterdam, and I couldn't really find a gym out there, and I wanted to run, but I was really tired by the end of the day. And I didn't want to force myself to do things. Like, no one sees the bad things of traveling and stuff, but at the same time, like, I look back on my trip and the most recent podcast that I released, that just released today, that we're recording, man, I'm so proud of it.
Yeah,
I'm so proud of it, dude, and it definitely made it worth it. And I don't think there's a lot of things that tell you not to do something.
That's true, bro.
There's a lot of things that tell you not to do something, and it's hard to balance. I think there's a balance in between like motivating yourself and just doing it.
Yeah, bro.
What I mean?
Yeah.
There's definitely a balance between that, because I feel like a lot of people are like, oh no, you have to do this, you have to do this. Oh no, you have to emotionally get yourself ready for this and this. And I'm like, bro, fuck it.
You just got to do it, bro.
Fuck it. Just do it. You know what I mean? When I bought that ticket to London, I was like, screw it. And you can ask anybody who are my close friends, like how I am with traveling. Dude, I plan it to a T. You know what I mean? I plan it to a T. I like to look at everything beforehand. This trip, I didn't look up shit. I didn't even look up how to go. Damn. I found out how to go through asking people.
Okay.
I went up to people. I'm like, what train station will take me there? And it's funny enough, I took the wrong train in England, and I ended up taking this train a little bit too far. And it seemed like, I don't know, London's hard. I feel like it's a lot like Florida, where it's like you don't know you're in the ghetto.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because
that's a good way to put that. That's a good way to put that, bro.
And because London, I was just like, oh look, I mean, like Harry Potter. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
you in the hood though.
Yeah, I'll never forget. I was at this train station. Actually, I've never talked about this on camera. This is funny. I was at this train station and I was just waiting for my train. And you could obviously tell like I'm a traveler, especially if I'm talking. Like you could hear me straight up. But I wasn't really talking. I just had my luggage with me.
Okay.
And had my backpack on and everything. But I definitely looked like some type of photographer or whatever. And I'm standing there, and then out of nowhere, straight up, like as far as your knee is from me, I'm just chilling there, and I see a cinnamon roll just smack the floor. And there's people next to me who are maybe just like standing like right like where you're sitting.
Yeah.
Right? And they look at that cinnamon roll. They look at me, and we both look up at the bridge, and there's like nobody there, but that's definitely where it came from, right? And they look at me and they start walking away from me, right? Because they're aiming at you, boy. Like, and it's so funny because as soon as they start walking away, I'm like, fuck that. We going down this ship together. Because I followed them too. I was like, because wherever y'all going is safer than where I'm at.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know. I know they don't have I know they don't have too many guns out in London, but they definitely have cinnamon rolls. That's all.
Somebody threw a cinnamon roll at you,
Someone
bro?
threw a cinnamon roll at me, bro. It was so strange.
That's new. I never heard of that.
It was so strange. And if I got hit with it, bro, like, I don't know what would have happened. Maybe
You
I
had
would
a
have made
concussion,
it.
bro.
But yeah, dude, like, like in that sense, bro, like back to my point where I'm just like, just do it. just do it. Like don't think about it. And I think it's like we're so scared of judgment
Yeah.
from people. And I think a lot of the time, like disappointing my dad or disappointing my family, disappointing my friends, and not making it. And I think those intrusive thoughts come in day after day after day. And it's tough too because I have friends who are my age, or I have people who are younger than me, and they're doing a lot better than me. But it's like they're doing a lot better than me. Like some of my friends, like they might have a lot of money, but they're not happy.
I know a lot of people like that.
Right?
Yeah.
Or it's like, like somebody's doing something that's great, but it's not what they want to do.
That's true, bro.
Or like they have another passion that they just never get to. And for me, it's like if I do anything these next couple of years, until I'm 30, or like until I really just run out of money where I have to work at somewhere where it's like I need to sustain my life.
Yep.
I'd rather go for the things that I love and just do the things I love first and try to find a way to make it work in my life, because I really do believe that I'm building something special here.
You are, bro. You are.
Then just like think about this forever and just never do it,
Dang.
There's no better time than the present.
That's true,
it's
bro.
a gift.
That's true. And what's amazing, man, like somebody that I look up to, her name is Monica, and she always tells me, do it afraid. Because a lot of times what happens is, like you said, man, we have these gifts, we have these talents, and, those thoughts start coming in. Like little David starts talking to you now. Oh, you can't do it. You're not gifted. You're not special. You're just like everybody else, right? Nobody's going to like this and all that kind of stuff. But you sometimes, like you said, you just got to do it, bro. The hardest part is showing up. And if you can show up for yourself, man, and it doesn't matter if it's 2 people that apply to you, those 2 people eventually turn into 10 people, and then eventually turn into 20 people, because at the end of the day, you're showing up and you're being authentic. And people, regardless of what people think, people like that. They want that real. They want that raw. They want that person that's themselves 110%, because people can relate to that.
Yeah, for sure, dude. Whew, man, we've gotten into some deep shit, man.
Hell
I love
yeah.
it. I
Hell
really
yeah,
like
bro.
it.
This
I
is
really
a
like
dope
it.
ass episode, bro.
Yeah, dude, I really like it. Talk to me a little bit about how it is now then doing what you do in San Diego, because now you actually live in like the social media basically capital of the world. I wouldn't necessarily say San Diego over LA.
Yeah.
But like California
It is
like where everybody goes.
It's true.
Like my friends have left Jersey to go to California. I have friends from Florida who have left Florida to go to California.
I can see that. See that.
How is it out there doing social media? Like, because I feel like you probably see it all the time. Do you? Like, do you see influencers just like bullshitting all the time? Because I don't really see influencers out here like that. I'm not gonna.
I can see that. I can see that. I think the beautiful thing about where I'm at, bro, because like you said, California is that place. Mm-hmm. Whether it be LA, San Francisco, Oakland, or whatever the case is, but I'm in San Diego. So the niche that I have, what I do, it's not too many influencers doing that, bro.
Really?
A lot of people in San Diego are food bloggers, which is dope. But it's not a lot of people doing what I do with the interviews about love, or, interviews about talking to people, or just going out and spreading positivity. So I'm in a niche, and it's beautiful. I think it's one other person I know for a fact that's doing what I do, and her name is Thariah. She has a huge platform and everything like that, but that's the only person I can think of in San Diego.
Word.
Yeah.
So tell me about like the first few videos you started recording. Like, how did I go? How was that process? Like, were you nervous? Like, tell me about it.
Man, I was nervous as hell, bro. Because for me, I'm a perfectionist. So I was like, man, everything's got to be perfect. I got to ask these questions perfectly. I can't stutter. I can't sound too excited and all that kind of stuff. And I learned when I was doing all that, I was putting limitations on who I am as a person. I stutter, bro. Like when I get excited, man, I stutter. It just is what it is. Sometimes I get overly excited. And I found that people take to that because it's human. Like we talk about all the time, like with social media, it's a highlight reel. Yeah. At the end of the day, bro, it's a highlight reel. So I'm like, hey, I'm just going to showcase everything. The negative, the positive, all that kind of stuff. If I stutter, I'm going to keep it in the video. And, people have taken to that because it's real, it's authentic, and it's honest. And when you meet me, bro, you're gonna notice all that. So why should I try to be perfect on social media? Why do my videos have to be perfect? Just put it out because it's about the message.
Do you remember that first time you took a video?
Actually, I do, bro. I met so the first time I did a video, I met a guy named Javi, and he was at the park, right, in Sandy in Chula Vista, and military cat, and he just had lost somebody to suicide, and you know, we had talked to him, and I was like, hey, bro, can we do a video? And I said, I'm just doing mental health check-ins in the community, and that was probably the dopest video that I've ever made, but that was the first video that I made, and he was just like, man, like, you know, nobody really checks in with people. And he said, you're doing that, bro. He said, you're going around and you're asking people questions. He said, it's truly powerful. And he said, nobody would have never known I was going through this. And his words, man, really hit. But at that time, bro, I really wasn't as nervous because he felt like home. And that whole experience felt like home. And yeah, man, that was my first video, and it was super dope.
Do you still have that video up?
Yeah, it's on my Instagram. It's at the bottom, bro. It's at the bottom.
I'll clip it. That'll be a dope clip.
But you know what's crazy? The video's not perfect. Like, the sound's not perfect. But I did it. I showed up scared.
Sometimes the best things aren't even like high quality.
That's true, bro. That's true.
I really feel that. As long as you're comfortable, like, you know, it's like, it's one thing to, like, you know, I always talk about this set and everything, and I'm blessed to have this set, and so I've worked up to this point, man. But like, the Amsterdam podcast was all on my iPhone. It was all on my iPhone.
Damn, bro.
I edited everything obviously after with my sound engineering software and stuff, but like, I was just there with my phone because it was what would be comfortable for the people who are out there.
Yeah.
If I pulled up this big mic, I don't know how they might have reacted. Maybe they reacted good or bad, but I had my phone on me. It's what I could carry, you know, and then I was just like, boom, boom, boom. I'll just point it to their mouths and stuff. I think it came out. I think it's the least perfect podcast I've ever had, but it's seriously in my top 3 of my favorites that I've recorded, for sure, you know. And I think that's a testament to you to also shooting your first video as well. That's really dope.
And I appreciate that, bro. And you did it. You did it scared, bro. And one of the motivational speakers that I love, Trent Shelton, he prides himself off of not having the greatest quality videos. And he played in the NFL for a little bit and all that kind of stuff. And you look at his content, it's just him being himself. It's just him being real and honest. And I'm like, man, I don't really want great content right now. I want people to see the ugly stage, because if you can see the ugly stage, bro, you could be like, man, I can do this. I can do this, bro. Like, it doesn't have to be perfect. I just got to show up.
Yeah.
So you see videos of me. I got my phone and I'm putting in people's face and all that kind of stuff. And everybody's like, man, you need to get a microphone. I'll get a microphone when I'm ready to get a microphone.
Yeah. Yeah. Facts. This is very true. You can't spread yourself too thin.
Yep.
Talk to me a little bit about that video that you took with Barber when you were.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Talk to me about that.
Yeah. So that video, bro, is super dope, right? So people been telling me to get in contact with this dope barber in San Diego. His name is Joe. And hold on. Get situated. Hold on. So people was telling me to get in contact with this dope barber and everything in San Diego. And I apologize, bro. My head messing up. My fault.
Oh, it's all good.
But so for a while I was putting it off and everything because there's so much going on in my life. And eventually somebody said it one more time. And I was like, you know what? I need to hit this guy up. So I was like, hey, can I come get a haircut from you and everything? And I told him, I said, I got this crazy idea, bro. And I said, you can shoot me down if it's too wild and all that stuff. But I said, what if we do free haircuts for love or free haircuts for conversation in San Diego? And he was like, you know what, bro? It's not a crazy idea. Let's do it. So Joe, the crazy part about it, man, like, we just did it. Like, we didn't really have a plan. I came up with questions and all that kind of stuff. And he was like, I think it'll be best if we're just natural about it. If we just go up and we do what we do. He's a great conversationalist. He does great haircuts and all that kind of stuff. And I bring the conversation. That's just who I am. And we put everything together. But I told him, bro, when we showed up, I said, at the end of the day, man, we may not get anybody to want to get a haircut. And that's okay, because we showed up. And what happened was we ended up getting crowds. People were taking videos of us, taking pictures of us, and all that kind of stuff. And people they were waiting to get haircuts. We only did 2 haircuts that day. And, you know, it was really an amazing experience because I've noticed San Diego need that. And people want to talk. People want to have conversations, bro.
Yeah.
They just, at the end of the day, you just got to give them the platform to talk and speak and feel comfortable and feel safe. And that's really what I noticed about that. And I'm going to have more videos like that. And I want to partner with more barbers and everything because I think that's super dope. And I think it's important to have that platform and everything. But it was dope. That was a dope experience.
Word, dude.
Yeah, that's a dope
That's
experience.
pretty great. That's pretty sick, dude. I can't imagine like the nerves you would feel with a crowd like coming at you like that. You know?
Yeah.
So how did you end up picking the people who got haircuts? Was it just like first come first serve or like?
Yeah, honestly, bro, it was really first come, first serve. Like I told Joe, I was just like, hey, bro, you know, whoever comes to us first, that's who we taking. And that's what we did. And, you know, I was like, hey, are y'all comfortable being on camera? And are you comfortable answering some questions? And everybody was like, yeah, let's do it. And one of my favorite ones was with a young lady. Her name is Carrie. And, you know, she said the dopest thing to me because I asked her, basically the question was, and I'm paraphrasing, I was like, you know, what advice would you give somebody that's going through a tough time right now? And she was like, listen to yourself. She said, you basically already have everything, all the answers that you're looking for. And a lot of times, you know, when people give you advice and stuff like that, it may not be the best thing for you. And she was like, listening to yourself. And I thought that was the dopest shit ever, bro, because we oftentimes look for other people to give us the answers that we already have.
It's very true. It's very true. It's very, very true. Looking into yourself is, I think, one of the hardest things to do. And just trust yourself. Because then again, like, I feel like a lot of people are scared to make mistakes.
Yeah, bro.
You know what I mean? Like, I've made so many mistakes in this like podcasting game too, man. Like, but every one of those, man, I've learned super big lessons. Super big lessons. Have you ever felt like you've made them? Well, we talked about your life stuff, but like when doing the Love Project, like, have you made any mistakes that you've learned from?
All the time, bro. Like, it's funny with the videos, right? I'll get like, because I don't have a videographer. So I'll get my friends or somebody or my sister, they'll come with me. And sometimes where I'll look at the videos and I'm like, this is terrible. like
I know that feeling.
like, this is terrible quality. And then I'm like, man, what was I doing? Like, I'm goofy as hell. And I'm like, I can't put that video out. And sometimes, you know, you feel like you made a mistake and stuff, but it's a process in your growth.
Yeah.
And you're not going to be able to put out every content, everything that you do, but you learn from it and you grow from it. And that's the amazing part about being a content creator. You got to learn to fail because failing is learning.
Yeah, and sometimes I feel like you even just gotta learn how to just post the shit and not even think about it.
That's true. That's true.
You feel me? Like, man, there's so many times in this journey, man, where I felt like there was a video. I was like, this doesn't seem like I should put it out like that. And then I put it out, and everybody's like, yo, that was sick. You know, like, I'll never forget. Shout out my cousin, a Bark of Fitness, man. He's really doing his thing right now.
Okay.
Dope. He got into podcasting. I used to help him run his podcast and everything. And I'll never forget, this was back in the days where I was still doing podcasts in my college study rooms and stuff, and just sneaking in there. And I'll never forget, man, my cousin came in, and this man got thrashed on camera. Like, thrashed, like belligerent. Like, not belligerent sounds like violent, but like this man was like just drinking his heart out. And I just remember like him getting louder and louder. And since we had the headphones on, like you couldn't hear how loud he was being. And dude, at one point, I'll never forget, man. It's so funny. I might have to clip this. But he was just like, he was talking about how sometimes when you like flirt with a girl or like hit on a girl, like you just gotta send it. You know, you gotta send it. You gotta full send it or whatever, right? And he was like, you just gotta send that shit, send that. And he's screaming. And dude, you could just see the reaction on my face when he was doing that, because I looked at my co-host during the time, and I was just like, hey yo, this man is wilding right now, bro. This man is wilding. But I'll never forget that. And I remember when I was going to post up that video, I was like, yo, the beginning of this podcast is great, but I feel like the ending is kind of wild. Like, because we were getting progressively more and more drunk. And yeah, and I remember I posted it up and I was like, oh my God, I don't know how people's reactions are gonna be, like whatever. And then like the reaction was like, yo, that was hilarious. And I was like, well, I'm glad you liked it.
You just gotta send it, bro. That's the message for today.
Yeah, you just gotta
send it, bro.
Yeah, you do gotta send it. And even like more recently, I had my first, I guess, like viral video, where it's like I actually posted up, I was talking about like my mom's passing and stuff, and I didn't know how the reactions were going to be to the video.
Okay.
But then like I think the video ended up getting like 12.5K views. And I was like, wow. I was like, people are really responding to this. And I got so many comments on that and so many likes. And it just seemed like everybody tapped into that. And they're like, yo, I'm really glad like you talked about this. And I was like, wow, like I didn't know like this is something people would want me to talk about. Or even I posted up another video. And like I said, it's not always about the numbers, but I really pay attention to the people who are commenting and like what they're saying. And I posted up another video about like dehumanizing the homeless. And like somebody had commented as well, and they're like, yo, I like the fact that you talk about this because it's hard. Because we were talking about like how it's hard sometimes when you're driving and you know like you have someone homeless walk up to your car, and you might have seen this in Newark, even going past Newark, but like you know like sometimes it's like we ignore, and I feel like when we ignore we dehumanize. And it's tough too because the stigma is also don't give money because they might be on drugs. But like at the same time, it's like, damn, like I could only imagine giving a $5 for somebody who's hungry could like fill up their belly for the night.
That's true,
you know?
bro.
So it's very difficult. It's a slippery slope, and I don't ever know what is the right moral thing to do, because like it's like, you know, just give money if you can. But then it's like, I don't know. I still haven't found the good moral ground, but that's why I put it out there.
Yeah.
Because I was just like, everybody talk your shit right now.
Yeah.
Because like we need to like, because how do we help in that moment, you know, or should we help? It's like, I don't know. It was just an instant conversation.
I think for me, bro, if I could touch on that subject,
Yeah.
I think for me, how I live my life, man, like it's one of those things like I give. And, you know, if I have the ability to give and it doesn't take away from my pockets or my food or anything like that, me eating and all that kind of stuff, you know, I'm going to do it. And I don't really care. Like, it's not my responsibility to be like, oh, he's going to go get drugs or she's going to go get drugs. I'm just giving, bro, because I would want somebody to give to me if I was in that situation. I would want somebody not to be like, oh, man, he's about to go get drugs. Nah, like, really, I'm hungry, bro. Like, I haven't ate in 2 days. Like, I would want somebody to feel, you know, something for me and bless me with something. So I just give, bro. If I have it, I'm going to give it.
I feel that. You know what? I think that's a great perspective to put on it too. As long as it doesn't like take away from like, you know, endanger me, like I would definitely give.
Yeah.
You just want to give. I get that. I definitely get that. You know, part of me even just wants to have like one-on-one sometimes, dude. Sometimes it hurts not being able to give as much as you can.
That's true.
Because there's always that balance. And balance has been a key word for me this year. Where it's just like you need to balance it out. You can't give more than you receive. I used to be actually very much too much of a giver, actually.
Understandable, bro.
It used to be my biggest problem when it came to like relationships or anything like that. Like really just putting other people before myself.
Yeah.
And then learning how to actually finally like look at within yourself and everything like that.
Because you got to find that balance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're actually coming pretty close to the end of the podcast.
Okay.
But I wanted to open it up to anything that you feel like we didn't touch on that you wanted to share, or any like thing that you just had on your mind. Is there anything? Because if not, we'll start closing out. But if there's something that you feel like we didn't touch on, the floor is yours.
That's good, bro. That's a good one, man. I do want to start with this, right? Or end with this. I feel like everybody has a dream, and we talk about dreams all the time. And I feel like the gift of a dream is super important as humans. And I feel like that's a blessing that we receive in life. It's a dream. And, you know, you talked about, you know, you got to work, you got to work hard for those dreams. You got to be able to execute those dreams and everything. But one of the biggest things for me, man, that I learned in life, that you have people that I call dream killers. And a lot of times, you know, those are the people that's like, oh, you're not going to be able to do it. Or, you know, maybe you're too small. Or maybe you should look at something else or have a plan B or plan C and everything. But my thing is, if I have something that I really want to do and I'm focused on that, just allow me to do that. Because at the end of the day, if I fail, I fail. But at least I tried. And I can grow from that failure, right? I can learn from that failure. And what I find in life, you get these dream killers, bro. You get these people that, they didn't go after their dreams. So they want to kill your dreams. Or, and that could be anybody, bro. That could be your parents. That could be teachers. That could be coaches and all that kind of stuff. And I just want to leave people with the idea of chasing your dreams. At the end of the day, I know it's scary. I know it's something where, sometimes you can't control the outcome. Really, you can't control the outcome. You may not be successful the way you want to be and everything like that. But that dream is important. So keep that dream alive, man. I think it's super important. You have a dream, I have a dream, and at the end of the day, you have to execute those dreams. You have to put the backing behind it and all that kind of stuff. But don't allow people to crush them dreams, bro. Like, at all, man. Like, keep going. Keep chasing that shit. Like, that's the important part. Like, keep chasing that shit. Like, yeah, bro. Fuck the dream killers.
Sledge, it's been an honor having you on the podcast. Thank you so much for coming to the East Coast. I hope you enjoyed your time here.
Hell yeah, man.
It was a blessing having you here. I'm so glad that we got to connect, and thank you for hitting me up so long ago in the DMs, just shouting out too, because like I just remember too, like just the interaction when we first talked. It was just straight love and just like, hey dude, I hope you're doing good and everything. And also like even like our voice messages that we had sent to each other, man, it was always all love, and I appreciate the shit out of that for sure. Guys, we're here at the end of the podcast. Please, now's the time. Let the people know where they can find you, social media, everything like that, or any shout outs. Now's the time to let the people know.
Hey, appreciate that, my brother. So you can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at the Love Project Collective. Simple. My picture is this logo right here and everything, and it's black. So you can find me on everything. And also, with a lot of the videos that I do, I a lot of the stuff comes out of my pocket when I bless people. So if you want to send donations, man, please do. Everything goes back into the community. Everything goes back into blessing people and making sure people are good and stuff like that. So, I do my Cash App, my Venmo, everything's at the Love Project Collective. You're not obligated, but if you do feel generous and all that kind of stuff, I appreciate everything. And thank y'all so much.
And guys, y'all already know the business. Ayoo Chill Podcast, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, wherever you find your podcast, wherever you find your podcast videos, we are on there. Please remember to like and subscribe. Leave a comment. Let me know you are live and bless the podcast with your presence.
Yes.
My friend, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you, my brother.
There's only one thing left to do. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Let's go.
All right, dude.
Hey, how was that, bro?
That was great, bro. That was great. It's funny you beat me to the question. I'm usually asking everybody.